Why is there so much hate in the world today? Where does this hatred come from? And what are the triggers that activate this dangerous emotion? Where did hate originate? The first case of hate is found in Genesis chapter 4, verse 5. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. Cain, one of the first two children born to Adam and Eve, was angry because his offering was rejected while his brother's was accepted. He was told to do the right thing and to control his anger. He failed to heed the advice, the counsel of Elohim, and was so filled with anger and hatred, he killed his brother Abel, thus creating the first case of murder in the Bible, if you believe in the Bible. What about the hatred that is so apparent in today's societies? What is causing these temperamental outbursts? The previous presidential administration brought a tremendous amount of stress on the American people. Making a decent living became very hard as jobs were lost, and the providers of these jobs went offshore and did not plan on returning to America's shores. Medical insurance and care became very difficult to obtain and pay for. Basic items required just to live, such as rent, food, utilities, and everyday expense costs, were increasing with no increase in wages, providing if one even had a job to pay for the necessary commodities needed to just live. People became distressed over these everyday necessities being reduced or even denied. Tempers began to rise, anger ensued. Americans began to hate the estate they now found themselves in. This became the triggers that started the reaction now seen in the lives of so many: hatred. These actions imposed by an anti-American administration changed the minds of formerly good-thinking people into people with anger and hate issues, and this has begat several problems, serious problems, as found in Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall be multiplied, the love of the many shall wax cold. Anger and hatred leads to iniquity, lawlessness. The people lose their love for America and the people in it. Willard Galen, medical doctor, in his book Hatred, the Psychological Descent into Violence, on pages 28 and 29 illustrates the components of hate with the following points. Point 1. Hatred is clearly and most obviously an emotion, an intense emotion that is a passion. Point 2. Hatred is more than just an emotion. It is also a psychological condition, a disorder of perception, a form of quasi-delusional thinking. Point 3. Finally, hatred requires an attachment. Like love, it needs an object. The choice of an object, also like love, may be rational or irrational, which is called transference in the psychological terminology. They put their hatred onto somebody or something. The triggers are many, and they can eventually fuel the rage within a person, denied the necessary requirements just to live, to support their family, his or her loved ones. This anger, hate, will lead to objectification, a feeling that can and will be placed onto the source that is causing their problems. Their reductions in life's tools of survival will become very apparent in their lives, and they'll need to project their displeasure or discomfort onto something or someone. When things go wrong in the lives of the people being oppressed, they look for a reason and a source for their afflictions. They locate this source in their minds, and then they direct their emotions to this very source. Many times it's just another human being that is the source of their discomfort, want, and needs. But what is a trigger? A trigger is something that sets off a memory tape or flashback, transporting the person back to an event of her or his original trauma. Triggers are very personal. Different things trigger different people. The survivor may think to avoid situations and stimulus that she and he thinks triggered the flashback. She or he will react to this flashback trigger with an emotional intensity similar to that at the time of the trauma. A person's triggers are activated through one or more of the five senses: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. As one can determine by the definition of the term trigger, emotions can play a very large part of anger that leads to hate. If the anger is intense enough, this can lead to serious injury or even murder of the object that caused the original distress. So what is the solution? One must change their way of thinking and acting. Anger and hate are very powerful emotions. If they're not controlled, serious damage can result. One must translate and change their hatred into a better objectivity mode of love and compassion. Thank you. Good day.